So in previous videos, we talked about how your exam marks are aligned and how your internal marks are moderated. And so those will give you your assessment results and your exam results for a particular course. And those will average to give you a HSC mark. And of course, you get a whole bunch of them, and those are where your ATAR comes from. Now, this process is called scaling, and it's another thing that people get really stressed about and again, don't really have a great understanding of. So just to dispel a few of the myths, HSC scaling is not based on the difficulty of a particular course, which is what everybody thinks scaling is based on, right? It's a little bit more nuanced than that. What scaling of a course is based on, and it's done by UAC, is it's based on the performance of a subject's candidature in the other subjects that they take, which sounds really confusing, but what it means is that if you have a cohort, say, of physics students, and they all do really, really well in their other subjects, physics is going to scale well. If you have a subject where the students don't do so well in their other courses, then that subject won't scale well. It's as simple as that. Now, this tends to correspond to what students consider to be difficulty, because if you do well in a particular course, then you're more likely to take it, and so you're more likely to do other courses that are more difficult, and so it all sort of relates back to difficulty in that sense, but it's not directly related as so many people think it is. Now, the important thing about scaling is that it's not just a straight, if you do a hard course, quote unquote, you're going to get an improved mark. It's really complicated. It works differently based on the mark you get respective to the average. If you do really poorly in a well-scaling course, it's actually going to punish you rather than help you. And because it's so complicated, my advice to you is just ignore it, right? Scaling shouldn't be something that's on your mind, especially when you're choosing what subjects to pick, right? Like if you pick subjects purely based on scaling, you're doing it totally wrong. You're going to end up taking courses you don't really enjoy. You're not going to be getting a lot out of them because you're purely doing them for the number at the end. It's just not the way to go about it. If you pick courses you enjoy, you're more likely to do well in them. And if you pick courses you enjoy, you're going to be willing to put in the work, and that's going to correspond to strong results at the end, because it doesn't matter how a subject scales. If you do really well in it, the scaling doesn't impact you at all. Like, scaling is there as a backup to make things fair, but if you do well, they're not going to take that away from you. That's just not how the algorithm works. So try and ignore scaling for the most part, and try not to let it bother you as you are preparing for your HSC exams, because it definitely shouldn't be something that's bothering you.